Hi there crafters, Louise with you today. Thanks so much for checking out this paper rose 12 by 12 scrapbook layout. I'm getting to play along with the Portraits in Bloom collection. Now I have got it in the 12 by 12 paper pack and the mini journal sort of folio kit, which I adore. I think they're so fun. They're really great to give you a mix of papers and patterns and embellishments that actually coordinate with the elements you're creating with. Now, the first thing I notice is that these pattern papers, they're really quite vibrant and intense in their patterns and their colors. So for me, I like to mix that up with a little bit of white, and so I've used a cut file. Now this is a cut file that I have designed, and so in the link to this video you'll find the cut file where you can download it for yourself and cut it at home. And I wanted this sort of central triangle element to really just help break down some of these colors. I love this background paper. I think the stripe is amazing. The mix of white, it's almost like a mixed media page without you having to do the work. And that for me is always such a win. If I don't have to pull out any stamps or inks or mediums to get that effect, then yep, I'm going to go for it. So as much as I love this background, it is quite intense. And so this, as you can see, is me bringing in some color. So that little strip of color, but it's broken up by white with the cut file. That's how I'm going to really bring in some color without overwhelming the actual elements of the page. So really fun collection to work with. I love these patterns that we've got in this Portraits of Bloom collection. I think they're really quite fun and intense. I'm going to mount my photo first of all. Now, you might have noticed lately that some of my photos are of me at race days. I do enjoy getting dressed up and having a fantastic day out at the races. So when I have the opportunity, I definitely snap a photo. And this was a recent day we spent with friends, and wonderful day. It was pretty chilly, but we all dressed up and we went out to a country race meeting about an hour from our hometown. So I had a beautiful navy dress with pink elements and then burgundy sort of bag and gloves, and really lovely day out. So here is the folio kit, and what I'm going to do is just pull a few bits and pieces for embellishing that I think might actually go with my background. So at this point I'm sort of thinking about layering. How am I going to enhance that photo without overwhelming the fantastic background that I've got going on there. So I really like these little ladies in their frames, or in this case there's some florals. I think they work well in terms of embellishing in backgrounds, and there's a few little bits and pieces like the rose that fit in beautifully with this theme that I've got going on. Now, I had the idea that I was going to fussy cut that big sort of vase full of florals, but it didn't end up making it onto the layout. I think I will fussy cut it for a different page, but yeah, it wasn't right for this particular layout. And apart from starting with the cut file and choosing my photo, I didn't have a great deal of direction when it came to creating this page. I'm pretty much just winging it and deciding as I go along what fits where and how I'm going to embellish and get creative with this particular collection. So super sweet. I love these little frames. I think they are just fantastic. That little pop of gold that, as you can see, I've just tucked in behind my clustering really works. Such a treat in building those elements in that background. So really fun and enjoyable. I did actually love creating with this collection. I think, it won't be for everybody. I absolutely understand that. But sometimes if you are using something outside of your comfort zone, it actually can help you create some of your best layouts, because you may not necessarily vibe with the collection. I mean, I vibed straight away with this collection. I knew that it was going to be fantastically bold, and I had some photos from race days that would work perfectly for it. But just because you don't necessarily vibe straight away with a collection doesn't mean that you can't create some beautiful elements, some beautiful pages with it. So I always encourage you to try and, keep it fresh, challenge yourself, and you just never know what you might end up creating. So that challenge can be quite fun. I mean, sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I have created layouts where I haven't actually enjoyed the final result, and they don't get seen by anybody but me. But that's just, the learning process, and generating your own style and working out what you like and how to make it appeal to you. So okay, what's been happening? So I've added some torn little strips in there. I just wanted to introduce a little bit more pattern, and I felt like the frame pattern worked quite well. And of course, I can't stop embellishing. It is really just, I like to add to the top and bottom of my clustering. That was a bit of a whoopsie because I ended up adding glue to the bottom of the cutout, and I wanted it on the top, so we'll put some cardboard behind that and mount it up for a little bit of height. But yes, this cluster came together beautifully. I love the frames. I think they look amazing. I've added some white texture paste off camera, purely just because you don't need to see that. But that again is just that stenciling and the white against that really sort of vibrant background just helps split the elements of the background and help your photos sit more to the forefront. And the final stages is this really fun technique where I like to use embroidery thread in a sort of wrapped background to sit behind my photo. The texture that this gives you is just so fun, and it's the kind of thing that you can do with so many different colors or types of embroidery thread. This one that I'm using has got sort of a little bit of a sparkle. I mean, I just picked them up at Spotlight, so they're relatively cheap. And the biggest issue I have with this one is that having that kind of sparkly element, it's really hard to stitch with. So I would not recommend actually stitching with that type of thread, but it looks fantastic just sort of wrapped in this background kind of situation that I've got going on. All right, so getting close to the end here now. The layout has to come together beautifully, except for my little bit of a whoopsie where I went to turn it over and my glue hadn't quite stuck, and I spat my photo cluster off. So that was hilarious. Sorry, I just had to laugh at that. And then just for a little bit of extra enhancement and texture, I'm just going to trim a little bit of the white off of this butterfly and add a little bit of dimension, just with it not being completely flat stuck down. It's just going to be slightly elevated. And yeah, this page, I think it came out amazing. I'm really happy with it. I adore this collection. I can't wait to do some like sticker journaling and to really use it a little bit more, because I think it's really vibrant and fun, and I encourage you to get out of your comfort zone and have a go at something that you may not use all the time. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, happy scrapping.